look, HEX, PulseChain, PulseX fail the Howey test. As far as my understanding of the English language goes, they fail the Howey test. And whether or not the SEC agrees with their own rules is we're going to have to see, right? There's always uncertainty, but I believe that if they abide by the rules that they wrote, and if lawyers can reasonably explain to the SEC, because apparently sometimes they need they need to be explained, the very rules that they created sometimes, Ripple, Coinbase, all these companies that are being attacked right now are trying to defend themselves. Unfortunately, having to prove innocence rather than guilt, which I thought it was innocent until proven guilty, but not to these thugs out here. That these are products. These are finished products. There were no promises of future work from Richard, right? Richard is done. Richard can go away right now, and these products would be out fine. They don't require any future effort or expectations of him, any managerial effort, right? On top of that, they are not investment contracts, especially more so when listed on secondary markets. So really, I don't think there's any reason, in my interpretation of the English language, there is no reason that centralized exchanges would not be allowed to list products, finished products that are not investment contracts on their secondary markets. Now, whether or not potentially PulseChain and PulseX were an unregistered security, in my opinion, the worst case would be a fine. And the best case would be nothing. The best case would be these are deemed objectively not securities. But the way I literally understand them in my head is that these are not securities. I believe that to be true. And that's where I put my conviction in. It's just knowing what I know about the fact that there was no investment of money into a common pool with the expectation of profit from the work of others. And if some people did have expectations, then that was a fairy tale that they made up for themselves. Right? I don't know a guy that's tried harder to follow the rules than Richard. I don't really know a person that tried harder than any other founder out there to say, you should not expect anything from me, motherfucker. Like, he's probably said that.
That exact phrase, probably.
I think he probably did say it like that at some point. No, but he probably said it 100 times, in various streams and stuff. And it's just like, okay, we get it. I believe that it's more than a wink and a nod, right? It was more from like, I really did sacrifice money for freedom of speech and freedom of movement. These are things that I believe in. So, it's like, it gets very watery when you're like, some guys like, yeah, well, I expected Richard to do work for me. And it's like, well, where did he say that he would? Like how did you? It's like saying I expected Ronald McDonald was going to make my cheeseburgers. Where's Ronald McDonald, man? Like, why isn't he the one making my cheeseburgers? He always makes them the best, man. He always puts all that tender love and care. But now I got some random dude making my cheeseburgers. I want Ronald back. It's like, it's weird, dude. Maybe there's a better metaphor. But
don't expect Ronald to show up and make your cheeseburgers. I'm okay with that metaphor. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, man.